So, hello, my dear friends. I think all of you are doing well for upcoming NET exam. That is, it will held on 17th June, probably 17th June. So, today I will discuss about a very important topic of thermodynamics, that is Maxwell relations. And you know that this is a very important topic for any competitive exam, NET, GATE, IIT, JEE, and CA, and JAM also. So, this is a valuable topic for us. And to remember this Maxwell relations, we have to remember only two simple sentences. There is the first one is SP is watching TV. SP is watching TV. And the second one is he is going to buy an umbrella. In the first sentence, there is S, P, T and V. These four are thermodynamic properties. There is S for entropy, P for pressure, T for temperature, and V for volume. And again, in the second sentence, here H, G, A and U. These four are the thermodynamic property also. That is H for enthalpy, G for Gibbs free energy, A for Helmholtz constant, and U for internal energy. So, to derive this Maxwell relations, we have to remember only these two sentences and all the thermodynamic properties. Now, we have to write a circle. That is, we have to draw a circle. That is Maxwell cycle. And in the first sentence, there is four thermodynamic property S, P, T and V. And we have to write it in clockwise directions. That is S, P, T and V. And again, in the second sentence, there is also four thermodynamic property S, H, G, A and U. And we have to write this in clockwise direction as well. That is H, G, A and U. Now, you draw two arrows, one from S to T and another from P to V. Now we can write the Maxwell relations. That is, we have to take first S and P. That is del S by del V is equal to, what is the opposite of S? Opposite of S is equal to P and opposite of P is equal to T. So we can write del S by del P is equal to del V by del T. That is del V by del T. Now we have to see what is the opposite corner of S. There is a S. What is the opposite corner of S? Opposite corner of S is equal to T. That is constant temperature. And what is the opposite corner of V? Opposite corner of V is equal to P. That is constant pressure. Now we have to look at the arrows. That is, here the arrows go from S to T, but we need T to S. So there is one negative sign. And again, here arrow goes from P to V. We need P to V. So there is positive sign. So this is the first Maxwell relations. Now the second one, we need to take P and T. That is del P by del T is equal to, what is the opposite of P? Opposite of P is equal to S. That is del S. And opposite of T is equal to V. So del V. Now what is the opposite corner of P? Opposite corner of P is equal to V. That is constant volume. And opposite corner of S is equal to T. That is constant temperature. Now we have to look at the arrows. That is, the first arrows go from P to V, but we need V to P. There is a negative sign. And again, there is arrow go from S to T, but we need T to S. There is also another negative sign. And these two negative signs are cancel out. and we can write del P by del T at constant volume is equal to del S by del V at constant temperature. This is the second Maxwell relations. Now we have to take T and V, that is del T by del V is equal to, what is the opposite of T? Opposite of T is equal to P, that is del P. Opposite of V is equal to S, del S. And what is the opposite corner of T? Opposite corner of T is equal to S, that is constant entropy. And what is the opposite corner of P? Opposite of corner of P is equal to V, that is constant volume. Now look at the arrows. The arrows go from S to T. We need S to T. So this is positive. And again the arrows go from P to V, but we need V to P. So there is negative sign. Now the fourth one. The fourth one we have to take V and S. That is del V by del S, same as the above. That is the opposite of S is V is equal to T, that is del T, and opposite of S is equal to P, that is del P. And the opposite corner of V is equal to P, that is constant pressure, and opposite corner of T is equal to S, that is constant entropy. And look at the arrows. That is arrows go from P to V. We need P to V, so this is positive sign. And then again arrows go from S to T, so we need S to T, so there is also positive sign. So these four, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. These four are the main Maxwell relations, and this is very important for CSR NET, GATE and JAM exam. Now we have to see what are the Maxwell equations. Now there is another 4 Maxwell equations, and what are these? The first one is del H. Del H is equal to, what is the neighbor of H? Is equal to S and P. So we have to write del S and del P. Okay. Now what is the opposite corner of S? Opposite corner of S is equal to T. So T del S, and opposite corner of P is equal to V. So V dP. Now we have to look at the arrows. There is the arrows go from S to T. So we need S to T. So this is positive sign. And again arrows go from P to V. We need P to V. So this is positive sign. Now the second one, G, that is del G is equal to, what is the neighbor of G? Is equal to del P and del T. Okay. Now what is the opposite corner of P? Opposite corner of P is equal to V, and opposite corner of T? Opposite corner of T is equal to S. Simple. Again we have to see the arrows. There is arrows go from P to V, there is arrows go from P to V, so this is positive. And arrows go from S to T, we need T to S, so there is negative. Now the third one, that is del A. Del A. Del A is equal to, del A is equal to, what is the neighbor? That is del V and del T. What is the opposite of V? Opposite of V is equal to P, and opposite of T is equal to S. And the arrows go from P to V. We need V to P, so there is negative sign. And again arrows go from S to T. We need T to S. There is another negative sign. And the last one, that is del U. Del U is equal to, what is the neighbor of del U? There is S and V. Del S and del V. And what is the opposite of S? Opposite of S is equal to T, and opposite of V is equal to P. And the arrows go from S to T. We need S to T. This is positive. And the arrows go from P to V. We need V to P. So this is negative. That is, these four are the Maxwell equations. Now we have to see the spontaneity of the reactions. That is spontaneity of the reaction. What are the conditions for having the spontaneous reactions through the Maxwell circle? Now we have to write the Maxwell circle. This one is the Maxwell circle. S, P, T, V, and H, G, A, and U. And there is one arrow from S to T and another arrow from P to V. Now the spontaneity of the reactions. For S, what is the spontaneous reactions for conditions for S entropy? Now that is del S at constant H and P. That is H and P. What is the conditions? Now for that case we have to see the arrows go from S. That is the arrows go from S. So this is positive. And again for del S at constant U and V. Same, there is arrow go from S. So this is also positive. To remember this only. This rule is for to remember these conditions. Now for the second one, this is for P. That is del P at constant H and S. That is at constant H and S. That is again arrows go from P to P. The arrows go from P, so there is also positive. And again del P at constant G and T, there is also positive. And comes to del T, that is del T at constant A and V, and the arrows go from S to T. S to T, that is arrow go to T, that is there is negative. And again for del T at constant G and P, same, this is also negative. Now comes to the del V, that is del V at constant A and T, that is arrows go from P to V, that is arrows go to V, so that's why it's negative. And again del V at constant U and S is also negative. And again for the middle one, that is H, G, A and U, what are the case for this? Now for that case, that is del H at constant S and P, that is S and P are nearby, is always negative. Again for this all four cases always negative. That is for this case del G at constant P and T, this is also negative. Again del A at constant P and T, this is also negative. And del U at constant P and S, this is also negative. So this all these 4, 8 and 12, these 12 are the conditions for spontaneous of a thermodynamics reactions. So thank you, and this is my first YouTube video, so please like, comment and share my video, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, so feel free to ask in the comment section. And your one subscribes is motivates me to make more and more video for your competitive exam, that is NET, GATE and another, that is JAM exam also. So thank you.